Eagles Nation, what is up? Tom, Views from the Link TV. Got my man Kyle here with me. He's from Philly, one of my best friends. We grew up together, middle school, high school, college, everything. And we've been talking birds a long time, so I haven't had someone on the show. He's out visiting me on vacation. Good to have you back on the show. He was on it back when in 2015 when I did live in Philly. He was on the show, so he's original Views from the Link, real Chip TV guy here, and good to have someone back on the show because I've been doing it solo.
Yeah,
so
it's good to be out here and do a little blast from the past.
Yeah, have him come back on the show. 2 years in the making. Haven't been on it since 2015 season with Sam Bradford, so we're looking a lot better than that right now, I'd say.
Come a long way.
This is Bird Buzz. We're going to ask, the questions from the Instagram, and we're just going to talk about them. Talk about this upcoming game against the Denver Broncos. It's going to be a tough one, man.
Definitely is.
It's going to be a tough one.
One of the best defenses in the league for the past couple of years. Yep. And we got our work cut out for us. Can't take them lightly.
Mm-hmm. So the first question, It's Miles asks, how do you think Carson Wentz will do against the Broncos defense?
So, giving my honest answer here, I think he's going to have a decent game. I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of, low 200s, maybe up to 250 passing yards. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say with 2 touchdowns and probably 1 pick.
Yeah, that's considered, if he does that, more to me matters, when he makes big plays in crucial moments in the game, keeps drives alive, third down, gets us into the right protections, gets us into the right plays. He really does run the show, and against the defense of this level, I think Carson Wentz will. He's the thing is about Carson Wentz is that he just prepares at another level than I've seen a player in a while, a young player like this.
He does.
At least a young Eagle. This guy. He works his butt off, and you can see when he's in, when he comes into the game,
right?
Every Sunday, he's ready for what the defense gives him, and that's what's crazy. And he endures the game, and he just goes with the flow, and eventually starts making plays. So I think Carson Wentz will do pretty well against the Broncos defense as long as he's, just getting us into the right plays and making plays on big. Not so much looking at the stats. I'm saying I think he'll play well because he'll make big plays in big moments.
Exactly. Game. Just, control the game, mm-hmm. Make sure it caters to our style, giving us the best chance to win.
Yeah, that's what Wentz has done all year for us, and I think regardless of what defenses are across from him, I think he can continue to do that, whether or not it means he's going to go air it out or have, get us into run plays, smart throws, smart decisions. That's the kind of stuff that will make it a good game against Denver, not the stats. It's just, that's kind of all you need. Yeah. But I like that you gave the stats too, though. So that gives some.
This will be
there's some stat guys out there.
We haven't faced a defense like this all year yet.
It's true.
We faced a couple good defenses.
Carolina's pretty good.
Carolina, the Chargers defense is underrated. It's better than people think it is, but it's nothing close to Denver. Yeah,
the thing that the Eagles did against Carolina, which was probably the second best defense that we'll face all year.
Mm-hmm. Can't forget about
maybe Seattle too. Yeah. So those three
fallen off a little bit.
Our defense forced turnovers and put us in scoring position.
Exactly.
That's big for us too. So, but we're getting a little off track here. So Justin Bradley, JBrad13 asks, how many more excuses will Cowboys fans try to find for our success? So they're just haters, every year in, year out. They're always going to try to find excuses.
Yeah. The answer to that question is endless. Yeah. It's never, ever going to stop.
Justin Bradley has another question right after, and he says, bold prediction for Sunday?
Bold prediction for Sunday is we have 2 defensive/special teams touchdowns.
Okay, that's a nice one. I actually said that last week, and it almost happened with Jalen Mills getting that pick 6. I just needed one more.
I just think Brock Osweiler is very turnover prone. And
I'm going to say that the Denver Broncos, they don't score in double digits. Now that's very bold because that's impossible, but we'll see. That's why it's a bold prediction. Okay, N. Velasquez 36 asks, do you see Ajayi as our long-term back? I'm going to grab some water.
I'm going to say yes and no. I don't know if long-term starter per se for the next 7-8 years, but I see him possibly being in a timeshare with somebody. whether we go out and get somebody in free agency to pair along with him, because I don't know if Blunt is the long-term solution or not to pair with him, since he's 30 already, right? 30, 31, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And, with Ajayi being 24, 25, I think we could, pair somebody up with him, just have a dual threat, kind of how Atlanta runs with, Freeman and Coleman. I would love to poach Coleman from them if possible.
Well,
I think
that would be
a great fit to our system.
I think
with him being a free agent.
Yeah,
this
I
year,
think with Ajayi coming in, I don't think they're going to look to move more assets for another running back. But goodness,
free agency though. Because he's a free agent, he might want to get out of Freeman's shadow.
He's going to seek a pretty big but then go to a team with Jay Ajayi, that doesn't really make any sense.
True.
But either way, I like the thought, but. No, I like the thought of pairing him with someone, but Tevin Coleman is probably not the answer. He's just too good. Like you said, he's gonna want to be a main guy.
He'd start on half the teams in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone could use that guy.
Yeah.
So
he'll.
But pairing Ajayi with somebody is probably the likely
and I think that would be,
he only has 1 year on his contract, and he's had this knee injury that you said
exactly.
He's on this dude's fantasy team.
To put less pain on his knees, pretty much. This way he's not carrying the load.
Yeah, of course. You need a receiving back. You need a guy that's more of a pass catching specialist, I think, because Ajayi's kind of your banger.
Yeah,
your downhill runner, and then
somebody like a Danny
you need
Woodhead
a Sproles,
something like that.
You need to replace Sproles. So we got Pumphrey, but he didn't really work out in preseason. Then he got hurt. So we'll have to see how
next
he
year
develops.
could be a different year for him. Maybe he comes back better, but he didn't show us anything this year. So
no, he didn't. So. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan with Ajayi. You do need to get him a counterpart because he can't take, all the carries. He just can't. So, okay. So the next question is, it's trash. Asks, being that Wentz playing QB and RB, any chance we see him playing middle linebacker? That was that gave me a headache trying to read that. Okay, so he means that Wentz is playing quarterback and running back, just being our main runner. Maybe we put him in middle linebacker. So he's just making kind of a joke about just being sarcastic. Yeah, sure. If Wentz could play middle linebacker, we'd stick him in.
He's big enough, but
sure is. All right, SmithBoy93 asks, do you have faith in Big V? It's a great question. I think that he's a good pass blocker. Not good, maybe, a little above average, potentially. Pretty iffy run blocker. And I think that losing Jason Peters is just, no matter who you put in there, it's just not going to be. You
can't replace that production.
Yeah, you just can't. So, do I trust Big V? I think the team can win games with him. I don't necessarily trust him as if he's a great player, but I trust him to handle his own and get better as the season goes on. That's all I want to see.
Exactly. I think we'll get better with getting more reps, getting more accustomed to the line, his line mates. So learning all the protections.
It's going to to be a backup here, I think. For a long
it's
time.
Building chemistry with them.
So
and
getting
with him as a backup is fine. Moving forward. With him as a long-term starter replacing Peters, I absolutely do not think so. Nor do I want that. But as far as the backup, if he has to come in because somebody gets hurt, that's fine. I think he's perfect for that role. But I just don't see him being a starter moving forward.
Yeah, I don't either. But do we have faith in him this year? Sure, to hold his own and maybe get in the playoffs. Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of the goal from the start. So getting in the playoffs, I don't think Big V is going to hold us back from getting.
No, against weaker defenses, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Top end pass rushers.
Against
beat anyone.
Denver,
that's why they're top end pass rushers.
If he's going up against Von Miller, that's a matchup I don't want.
Elite tackles.
Yeah, exactly. Struggle with him, but I just
down. So you can't expect that. But we have faith in him to do what he can do. No one's trying to expect Big V to step out and be Jason Peters, but. We know what we got, and you just got to kind of help him out, put some tight ends over there, just help him out.
Like Belichick says, I just want him to do his job. Don't try to do too much. Just do what you have to.
Yep. SmithBoy93 asks, how many carries will Ajayi have Sunday? So he's asking that. He asked the last question, so he's another guy that doubled down.
So, I'm liking these double downs. But
I think Ajayi, I don't think he'll carry the ball too many times.
No, I don't
maybe
think
10.
Yeah, I don't think so
10
either.
might be generous.
Yeah,
too,
I think because he's still going to be learning the playbook. He's not fully
ingrained in
in it yet.
It depends on how the game's going too. Or maybe they do roll him out. And just
if we're blowing them out, then he might get more carries, and it's definitely gonna be a heavy dose of him and Blunt.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be probably more like 75% Blunt, and then maybe 20% him. So I'm gonna say somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 carries. I think is probably what he's gonna get.
Yeah, 10 to 12 is a lot though. I mean, feature backs average like around
20 to 25.
Yeah, not really even though like. Feature backs are like the top running back in the NFL last year was Ezekiel Elliott. I think he averaged 20 carries per game.
Yeah.
So that's.
I guess depending who you are.
That's the thing. Like, it's a different game now. Like, you don't give one running back all the carries. So it's like
true.
For Ajayi to have 12 carries, that would be very, very. It would just be very telling of what they want from Ajayi. That's what I think. So that's a good thing to monitor. I mean, I think he's going to get more like 8, but if he gets 10 to 12, that's showing how like they're just coming in and rolling with him.
Yeah,
so.
And like I said, I think it's all going to be depending upon game flow. Like I said, if we're blowing them out, I think he's going to get more. And if it's more of a close game, he probably won't be on the field as much just because he doesn't really know the playbooks.
Yeah, but he has the bye week coming up, so that's good.
True.
He has the bye week and then Dallas, so he'll pretty much
have him fresh for that.
Yeah, he'll be a factor in Dallas. More a factor in Dallas, more so than Denver.
Yeah, with having 2 weeks to learn the playbook
and a whole
learn the offense
too.
better. Exactly.
All right, so Billy Eberling 28 asks, what impact will Jay Ajayi have for the Eagles lineup? And we've been talking about Ajayi. Obviously, the picture that I posted was of Ajayi, so it's a huge addition to the team. Fourth round draft pick to trade away for a guy that's had a Pro Bowl season. He runs hard. He's what you're looking for in a running back. I think if he stays healthy, I think he has a huge impact on this lineup. I think he can be a top-end running back in the league. Maybe not where Zeke or Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson was like last year, or like Leonard Fournette level of like that good. But I think he can be a really solid running back, like a second-tier guy, So I think that he has that kind of potential. And when you get a guy like that who's not elite, but just a step like under just a really good back. I think that obviously that impacts your lineup a whole lot.
I completely agree. Like him having 200-yard games last year, like that just doesn't.
3.
Three. That just doesn't happen by accident. Like you have to have some talent to be able to do that. You can't just that just
Pro
doesn't
Bowl
happen.
season, and he went off in those games. Like he gets running downhill and he's tough to stop. And they compared it to when the Seahawks got Marshawn Lynch. Like it's like. I mean, if he's healthy, he's that kind of like bruising runner that's tough to tackle. Like we have like an older, slower version of him in LeGarrette Blount, and we've seen what that can do. Him breaking those tackles and running for extra yards. Like our run game has been really good this year, and I think that if we keep that up and we got a back that can do it, a bell cow like Ajayi.
Exactly.
We got 2 bruisers now. Be a big lineup. Yeah, it's going to be a big impact on the lineup, no doubt.
They're like the Bash Brothers from Mighty Ducks.
They're Portman and Fulton for sure. Aesthetics.png asks, honest prediction on the Eagles on an Eagles playoff run. And that's the last question. Good one to end it off on. What do you think? Honest prediction on an Eagles playoff run. I honestly think right now, if I had to predict off the being a fan, all that, sorry that I asked you the question, I answered it myself, but I'm just hyped up. I would say that the NFC Championship game could be realistic, depending on the matchups they get. Obviously, if they clinch home field, they're like a 1 seed. I mean, they have to hold on to that 1 seed. That Seattle game is going to be big for them this year.
Completely agree.
So if they play in Philly in the divisional playoffs after a bye week, they win. I think they win. I just don't see a team. I mean, it could be like the Saints or like the Vikings. You know what I mean? And I just think in Philly, this Eagles team beats that team.
I agree.
Think they could go to the NFC Championship. I really do.
Yeah.
I think Dallas could be a possible if they get hot and Zeke doesn't get suspended. We have games in hand with them, but that's an offense that can just get hot and take over, games. So you got them, but they're behind to me. Seattle, the Saints are a little better probably than Dallas overall right now. Their defense is playing at a pretty high level, and I think the Vikings obviously are another team, but it's really just Seattle in the NFC now because Rodgers is out.
Yeah, without Rodgers,
they're really the only team like that has a quarterback that I think can threaten you with a
Atlanta's
defense that can
having
kill
a
you.
hangover from last
Yeah,
year.
Atlanta
They
doesn't
could just
really
get
look
hot,
the same.
you know,
I completely
know,
forgot about Atlanta and Carolina. You're right. Atlanta's not that they don't like. If the Eagles had to play one of those teams at home, I think they can beat them. I really do.
I completely agree. I mean, then again, the playoffs are a completely different story,
That's true,
and
too.
And we don't really have
Any
especially
our
young guys.
Yeah, Wentz doesn't have experience in the playoffs.
So
that's what you saw. You saw Dallas last year went 13-3, and then Aaron Rodgers came in and was like, "Nah, sorry." So Russell Wilson certainly could come in and do that, or anyone else. But I think that
the talent's definitely there.
I think the talent's there, but I think that in the playoffs, he's right. It's a whole different story, and veteran QBs are going to come in. So that's the toss-up with a playoff run is what are the matchups, and that's why it's hard to predict. If we play Case Keenum in the playoffs, then are you talking about how veteran QBs coming in with more experience? Not really. I mean, he has more experience,
more
but not
years,
really
but not playoff. Yeah, I mean, as a backup, but he hasn't played in it, so
exactly.
That's irrelevant.
So both teams it would be even. But if you come in and it's a game against Atlanta, then you're like, well, Matt Ryan, he was in the Super Bowl last year, so
exactly.
He has more experience. So, I think the Eagles really can go on a playoff run, but they just it would speak volumes about Carson Wentz. But let's try to make the playoffs first. How about that?
Exactly.
Maybe that's what they meant. A playoff run isn't going to the playoffs, like a playoff push more. And I think the playoff push is real. 7-1, looking to go 8-1 tomorrow. Big game against the Denver Broncos. What's your prediction? Let's give them predictions and send them off.
Final score?
Yep, final score.
I'm going to say final score, going with my especially bold prediction of, saying 2 defensive special teams touchdowns. I'm going to say we win this game 21-13.
21-13. All right, I'm going to go 17-9. I made that bold prediction. The Broncos don't score in the double digits. 17-9. They score a touchdown and get a safety. If I get this right, wow, that would be like some Nostradamus stuff. But it's my bold prediction. 17-9. I think we move the ball just enough. Get a turnover. And I think, or maybe they kick 3 field goals. Who knows? Safety, I could see that happening. Though we're getting careless with the rock, and then they score, and then they get a safety, and it's my prediction. 17-9. Defense plays outstanding. Osweiler looks petrified. Eagles roll. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Peace out.
You heard the man.